Our users love clarity, and they ask for even more of it. Enter Dynamic Chart Legends in Zebra BI Charts, the next step towards fully dynamic, clear reports where every label adapts to your data automatically. Hello, and welcome to this latest Zebra BI product update. I'm Mattia, and I'm going to show you how this feature brings new clarity and precision to your reports. If you've ever switched between plans, forecasts, or scenarios in your Power BI reports and wondered, wait, which version am I actually looking at? Well, you're not alone. With Dynamic Chart Legends, Zebra BI takes dynamic reporting one step further. Legends now adapt automatically to your filters, slicers, and measures, keeping every view fully aligned with your data. It's another way we help you build reports that are clear, reliable, and instantly understandable. And thanks to Measure Autocomplete, you can mix static and dynamic text effortlessly to create legends that always tell the right story. And to make it as easy for you as possible, you can edit the label directly on the chart and don't have to search for the setting in the visualization pane. This is something that will help you create better reports in Power BI. And now is the time to try Zebra BI yourself. Visit zebrabi.com/trial and explore how much faster and clearer your reports can become with fully dynamic elements, or find the link in the description below. Now let's start with a classic financial example. Here I have a Zebra BI chart showing planned values from January to September compared against our forecast. On top, I can use slicers to switch between plan versions, Plan 1 through Plan 4, and my forecast versions, Forecast 1 all the way through to Forecast 4. As I make these selections, notice how the legend instantly adapts, showing exactly what's on screen. For example, Plan 2 versus Forecast 3. This makes it immediately clear which version I'm comparing, no matter how many scenarios I test. We can build this in two simple ways in Power BI, either with a DAX switch formula or even faster with a field parameter for a no-code experience. Whichever you prefer, Zebra BI's dynamic legends instantly adapt, keeping your charts consistent and your viewers confident. Now for the first method. I started by creating a small helper table called Forecast Versions that contains all the forecast options I want to switch between, Forecast 1, Forecast 2, and Forecast 3. This is what I'll later use in my report as a slicer. Next, we create a measure called Selected Forecast. This measure will capture which version of the forecast is currently active. It's a simple measure that just uses the minimum function to read the selected value from the table. This gives me a text value of the version that I've selected, for example, Forecast 1 or Forecast 3. Then I added this main measure called Dynamic Forecast, which uses the switch function to tell Power BI which forecast measure to display based on that selection. Here's how it looks. First, we see which one is selected, and then if Forecast 1 is selected, we display the values for Forecast 1, and so on. Finally, I go inside the chart to display the active version name in the legend. So we'll write here, Selected Forecast. This way, when I change the slicer, both the data and the label will update automatically. Let's check it out. We can already see it, Forecast 1. And let me just quickly, since I have the space, move the slicer down here. There we go. So you can see it in action. If we change it to Forecast 2 or to Forecast 3. The second method is done using field parameters, and it works in a similar way, but it is faster to set up if you already have your measures created, like I have my Plan 1 and Plan 2. So here we use a Power BI's field parameter feature to group our plan measures, Plan 1 and 2, into a parameter that lets us switch between them. Going under Modeling, New Parameter, Fields. Then we need to create another small measure that just prints the name of the currently selected field parameter. it looks like this. This is then the measure that we use in the chart legend. Because legends now support autocomplete, you can also reference measures like select and plan in the label, ensuring that you pick the right measure every time. It's very intuitive and flexible. Let me show you. We think it's intuitive, flexible, and it gives your reports a polished professional feel. Let me again move my slicer a little bit closer, and we can see that both approaches give us the same result. The chart updates automatically and the legend text changes together with your selection. Now let's move from a high-level planning to a more detailed view of operating expenses, one of the most critical parts of any financial forecast. In this report, I'm comparing actuals, plan, and multiple forecast versions, forecast 1, forecast 2, and forecast 3. Now, let's see it in action. In forecast 2, operating expenses are expecting to rise in the final quarter as we spend more on marketing and promotional activities in the hope to stabilize our revenue and build on our market share. You can see this reflected in the higher cost projected for all 4 months of the quarter. But when switching to forecast 3, the picture changes completely. The legend updates automatically to show that we're viewing forecast 3, and the forecast now shows a much leaner cost structure. With the implementation of cost control measures, budgets were minimized, resulting in a significant reduction in total OPEX by year end. By December, the forecast shows expenses 4% below plan, clearly demonstrating how strategic decisions directly shape our financial outlook. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Dynamic column legends can be used in different fields as well, like sales or HR, and can be used to support multiple different languages and other reporting standards. That's gonna make your reports even more dynamic and make your visuals even more adaptable. Tell us in the comments below how you will use dynamic legends in your reports. We'd love to hear your ideas. Let me end on that this feature further strengthens our approach to making your reports fully context aware. With dynamic titles in Zebra BI visuals and dynamic column headers in Zebra BI tables, both which are already available, the new dynamic chart legends bring the same flexibility to our charts visual. Together, these features ensure that every element of your report, from data to the labels, accurately reflects the active selection, providing a clear and consistent experience for every viewer. Download the sample PBIX file that you can see on screen right now from the description below and give it a try. Or start your own free trial at zebrabi.com/trial to bring this clarity to your own dashboards. See you in the next product update. We can't wait to see what you'll build next with Zebra BI.